Thargoids launch attack in HIP 22460. Pilots Federation alert. The HIP 22460 system has been invaded by large numbers of Thargoid vessels, with several multi-craft conflicts already reported. An alert was broadcast by Commodore Morag Halloran, military coordinator for Azimuth Biotech. As Salvation predicted, the Thargoids have detected the large-scale concentration of Guardian artifacts aboard the Bright Sentinel. Thargoid interceptors and scouts are now swarming throughout HIP 22460. The Allied, Federal and Imperial task forces have engaged the enemy, but it is crucial that their efforts are supplemented by as many additional ships as we can muster. All available independent pilots and AX squadrons are requested to take part in counter-offensives against the Thargoids. It is also important to protect traders who are entering the system to deliver Guardian artifacts to the Bright Sentinel. The construction of the Proteus wave relies on these vital components, and supply routes must not be interrupted by Thargoid strikes. The Alliance megaship Oath of Tendarius, the Farragut-class battle cruiser FNS Fortitude, and the Majestic-class Interdictor IMV Audacious Tree are coordinating the tactical deployment of the superpowers task forces in HIP 22460.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Thargoids launch attack. HIP 22460 receives vital supplies. Pilots Federation alert. Medical and military commodities have been delivered to the HIP 22460 system in support of the anti-Xeno operation. Commodore Morag Halloran expressed gratitude that so many commanders took part in the initiative. She indicated that payment was now available from the megaship Heart of Taurus. This includes tailored ship liveries for those commanders who made the greatest contributions. Azimuth Biotech has requested that pilots continue supporting the operation by obtaining Guardian artifacts, which will form part of the Proteus Wave's construction process. These can be delivered to the Bright Sentinel megaship. The shipments of advanced medicines, basic medicines and reactive armor will be distributed by Azimuth Biotech to the Allied, Federal and Imperial task forces within the system. Experimental anti-Xeno weaponry has been installed on the 3 task force flagships: the Alliance megaship Oath of Tendarius, the Farragut-class battle cruiser FNS Fortitude, and the Majestic-class Interdictor IMV Audacious Tree. Both the Federal and Imperial navies intend to reinforce their presence in HIP 22460 at the appropriate time. The Salvation Stratagem. As the superpowers establish their fleets in the HIP 22460 system, Azimuth Biotech prepares to deliver a decisive blow against the Thargoids. A segment from Salvation's briefing to the anti-Xeno task force admirals was shared by Azimuth. The Proteus wave relies on power sources and components of Guardian origin, which will inevitably draw the Thargoids to HIP 22460. As we know, their hostile reaction to stockpiles of Guardian artifacts is instinctive. They have no defense against the weaponry of their ancient enemies, other than to launch preemptive strikes to prevent it being deployed. Therefore, the Bright Sentinel must be protected as a priority while delivered artifacts are processed for transport to the Proteus Wave site, with independent pilots who support our endeavor aiding these efforts. I cannot stress enough how vital it is to keep the enemy at bay during this phase of the plan. The Proteus Wave will be constructed on the surface of HIP 2246010B. Its core mechanism will be calibrated to interface with one of the extant Thargoid structures present on the Moon. The structure will amplify the Proteus Wave's electromagnetic pulse to permanently shut down every Thargoid vessel within range. Providing your combined forces can keep the Thargoid vessels occupied, the finished superweapon will ensure humanity's final victory against the aliens. There will be no need for further superweapons when the Thargoid threat has been extinguished once and for all. Federation targets narcotics syndicate. The Federal Intelligence Agency has launched a multi-system crackdown against the organized crime network known as Red Family. Synchronized raids are currently taking place in over a dozen systems across federal space. Multiple ships, properties and manufacturing plants connected to Red Family's illegal operations are being seized. FIA Deputy Director Bethany Blake provided a statement to the Federal Times. For decades, the Red Family cartel has trafficked colossal quantities of dangerous drugs to our citizens, leaving a trail of death and misery behind them. The FIA dealt a severe blow to the syndicate in 3305, but its kingpin Oberon Church escaped justice and remains one of the most wanted criminals in the Federation. This current operation was only possible thanks to the Proactive Detection Bureau. Our algorithms intercepted key messages that identified Red Family's allies within local security forces and legal businesses. Field agents are now making mass arrests, despite armed resistance at many locations. This time we will locate Church and take him into custody, which will cause his organization to crumble. The Proactive Detection Bureau monitors all communications within the Federation to identify illegal activity and prevent terrorism. It was established in 3305 when new public surveillance laws were passed in the wake of large-scale attacks by the NMLA. Guardian artifacts needed to power superweapon. Pilots Federation alert. Azimuth Biotech urgently requires deliveries of Guardian artifacts to HIP
Landing gear deployed.
22460 as vital components of the Proteus wave. Salvation issued an official request to the Allied, Federal and Imperial task forces, which was then shared via public channels. We've now begun a